What's going on, guys? In this video, I'm going to share the 4 things you need to have in your post-purchase flow to deliver an amazing customer experience and to drive repeat purchases. So really quickly, if you're not sure what a post-purchase flow is, what that means is a flow is an automated email. Now I'm referring to Klaviyo because that's the platform that a lot of e-commerce brands use. That's the one that we use for our clients for email marketing, at least for our e-commerce clients. And the post-purchase flow is an automated email sequence that is triggered after someone makes a purchase. So hence the name post-purchase. Okay, so a lot of times people, there's kind of 2 camps. You have people who they think that this flow is just basically sending a thank you email, or they only see this flow as a way to just try to, either immediately or a delayed upsell to get people to make more purchases, but really there's more to it. So the first thing is actually really quickly, when you're setting up a post-purchase flow, one thing we do differently that I don't see as many email marketers doing is that we've got it set up to where the first-time customer and the repeat customer and so on, they get a different experience. So they're going to get a different version of they're going to go down a different path in this flow where they're getting either different versions of the same email or completely different emails. So when someone goes from purchase number 1, 2, and 3, they get a completely different experience. And we want to make sure we're showing extra love as they continue to make more purchases because we want to reward the behavior of making repeat purchases. And we don't want to treat someone who's purchased 3 or 4 times from us the same way we treat someone who purchased from us once, because of course that new customer is great and we appreciate them, but the VIP customer, normally your business is going to be, the VIP customers are going to be what really drive the success of your business. So you want to make sure that they are being taken care of and you're showing them extra love. So that's the first thing. It's just making sure that as people make more purchases that they're getting an elevated experience in this flow. So okay, that's not even one of the 4 things though. That's just kind of like foundational stuff. So the first thing, this is the first priority in this flow is first, before we even think about trying to get repeat sales and all of that, we want to make sure we take care of them on this initial purchase they just made, because we don't want people having buyer's remorse. So we want to kick off this purchase by delivering a great customer experience, which means that you want to immediately set expectations for what comes next. So this is going to vary based on your product. So if you consider, how long does it typically take for shipping? What's the unboxing experience going to be like? Meaning, like, do they need to know certain information? Like, are your products fragile or not? Do they need to, is there some sort of setup or installation involved? Is there maintenance involved? All of these things that they might need to know to enjoy the product and actually use it and not break it, any of that kind of stuff. We want to make sure they know up front. The other thing is we want to set clear expectations. So you don't want to overpromise on how fast the shipping is going to be and different things like that, and then underperform because you're starting this relationship with your customer off on a bad foot. It's better to maybe exaggerate a little bit as far as how long the shipping will take and then surprise them by having it ship faster. So, again, when it comes to this, like, hopefully you're providing tracking, shipping tracking links, and you already have other emails set up for that. So that should be pretty clear. But again, we just don't want them to have the wrong expectations because it's just going to kick off the relationship in a bad way. So letting them know everything they need to know about the unboxing, about the installation, about getting started, the maintenance, whatever. So just give them all the information they need up front. I really like to see a video from the founder of this. Most business owners, they don't want to get on video. You don't have to be the founder. You can have someone else do the video, but that's a great way to just stand out because a lot of brands don't do that. They're just going to send a typical thank you email and that's it. So again, taking it a little bit further and personalizing it, and having someone in video, maybe walking through what the person needs to do when it comes to setting up their product and getting the most use out of it. That is a great way to kick off this post-purchase flow. Okay, then the next thing you want to have somewhere in this post-purchase flow, it doesn't have to be the the very next email. But somewhere in here, you want to be either asking for or incentivizing a review. Now, this is something where, depending on the brand, depending on the product, sometimes we actually don't do this with the first time customer. We might wait and start doing this only with people after they've made that second purchase and beyond. And the thinking there is that people who have made repeat purchases are more likely to leave better reviews. So again, it's just going to depend on, how consistent you are delivering a great customer experience for people with your actual products, and how, if you have issues, because a lot of times what happens is the nature of the product, there are issues with shipping and it's out of the control of the brand owner, and it's just really on the FedEx or UPS or whoever. And a lot of times the customer will blame the shipping problems on the brand, and that will cause them to leave a negative review. So that's one of those considerations where I'm saying, like, okay, you want to, again, if you set the right expectations, but also just knowing that sometimes it's better to push or delay that review request until they're already more established customer. Then another thing you want to do is somewhere in here, doesn't have to be, I'm not saying these are emails in order, but somewhere in here you need to be asking for or incentivizing UGC as well. So you want to be getting reviews from your customers, and you also want to be getting UGC from your customers. What that means is user generated content, meaning that they are uploading photos or videos about your products or brand to social media, or at the very least, including those in the review that they add to your site. So that way you have that UGC that you can use in future emails and in your marketing, social media, all of that kind of stuff. So those are the general things as far as like just the base level stuff, getting reviews, getting UGC. And again, I spent the most of the time talking about really setting them up for a great customer experience. So sometimes that needs to be done in more than one email. What I'm trying to get across here are these are the things, these are the outcomes that you want to have, and how you actually execute those could look very different depending on your brand. So once you've got some of that basic stuff all set up and you've got your flow customized for different types of customers, this is where you want to start adding in the upselling and cross-selling. And the goal here is usually to get people to that third purchase. So when we're looking at a post-purchase flow, we have one sequence for someone who's the first-time customer. Then we have another sequence for someone who has made their second purchase. And then we have another sequence for someone who's made that third purchase. And then a lot of times it's not really customized too much beyond that. And we'll have other things set up like a VIP flow and different things set up for once someone becomes a VIP, however that brand has defined a VIP customer. So the way you use upselling and cross-selling, again, this is going to depend on what you're selling as far as your products. So a lot of times, let's just say a brand sells 10 products, but there might be 3 products that are generating 80 to 90% of the sales from their new customers. And then a lot of times it's like, okay, those products are just really well known in the market, and that's what gets them new customers. And then you have these other products that would complement that, but they either just don't know about them yet, or they don't know that they need those things yet. And this is where now getting them into the post-purchase flow, nurturing that relationship with them, and then starting to introduce these other products that, again, it doesn't have to always be an upsell, meaning you don't always have to try to get them to buy something more expensive. It's more about how can we help them enjoy our products the most. So usually I think of it like this. People have a certain lifestyle they're trying to live, and your products fit into that lifestyle somehow. So how can we help them get more and enjoy more of this lifestyle with or without our products? But of course, ideally in a way where they're buying more of our products. So that's the way I'm thinking. I'm not always thinking about trying to get them to spend more per purchase or trying to increase their average order value yet, although a lot of times that is a big part of it, is the average order value piece. But really it's more about the priority here, or the first priority is getting them to become a customer who's purchased 3 times, because what we found is that once you get people into that third purchase, that's when they are so much further more likely to become a lifetime customer, and that's where you really start to get the crazy ROI on your customer acquisition costs as you can drive up that customer lifetime value. So that's really the priorities here. So remember, you want to be customizing this for different types of customers or getting a different experience. The most important thing is delivering a great customer experience, making sure you're setting expectations or giving them everything they need to get a great experience with those products. products. Then you're starting to ask for some things that will help you with your marketing, like reviews and UGC. And then you're doing some upselling and cross-selling, again, in a way where they're going to be getting more value from these other products that you're selling, with the intention of getting them to make that third purchase. So sometimes we'll set it up to where maybe they get certain incentives, whether it's rewards incentives or a coupon code or something. We're doing things to get them to that third purchase, but you don't always have to do that. So but yeah, that's it. So for the post-purchase flow, these are the things you got to have. So it's so much more than just a thank you email like you typically see with a lot of these post-purchase flows. And again, it's got to be customized for the type of customer that they are.